by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day. They're the eyes of a man whose lust knows no bounds.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to
Nope.
Horny Creek.
Wrong show, dear.
My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's
How
up?
much has been a good week here? It is May 24th, 2000.
I sound quiet to me. Do I sound quiet to you?
No. I mean, you're right where you're supposed to be.
Okay.
Maybe your volume's down.
Maybe. I don't know.
Does that sound better?
No.
Oh,
I mean,
it's mine. Does that sound better?
yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
We're all here. We're all here volume wise. How have you guys been? They never answer. So this is Horny Creek.
It is.
Not Slayer Talk, but Horny Creek. Season finale.
Called True Love.
True Love.
It is all about the love.
It's about Love Boat. The Love Boat. Pacey's Love Boat.
Yeah. That's true. Like love.
Yeah. But do you think true love refers to somebody else too, slyly?
I mean, I think it refers to all of them. All of them are dealing with love.
Yeah, but true love.
I mean, the only true love is the name of the fucking boat.
I guess. You don't think that Mitch and Murray have true
Mitch and
love?
Murray.
That's from Glengarry Glen Ross.
The hell?
Mitch and
Dawson's mom.
Mrs. Leary. What's her name?
I don't know.
Joyce.
No.
It's Joyce, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh no, Joyce is Buffy's mom.
Yeah.
Why am I thinking about Buffy the Vampire
Oh my
Slayer?
goodness. I don't know. You got Buffy on the brain today.
Apparently. Mitch and Tara.
No, stop it. I don't know. I don't know her name, but Dawson's parents.
Meredith?
No.
Susan.
No, stop.
Elizabeth. I'm trying to think of him
You're
saying...
just naming random women's names.
I'm trying to think of him saying the name.
Gail.
Gail, there you go.
Her name is Gail.
Gail. Mitch and Gail. Don't you think Mitch and Gail have true love?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, she did fuck another dude, so
Wow.
kind of hard to say.
I was going to ask if this TV show is like a love letter to Kevin Williamson's parents and their marriage or whatever, like you guys are the best kind of thing. But then I remembered that one of the storylines, as you pointed out, was her fucking another guy.
Yeah.
So probably not.
And I mean, like, it's not really the best, marriage when you get divorced and then remarried.
My friend, who I won't mention, but you know him. If I say the word clown, you'll know.
Yeah.
Who
I know who you're talking about.
His parents got divorced and then remarried.
Yeah.
Divorced before he was born, and then remarried, and then they had him, and they're still married.
So my dad was married young at 19, got divorced, got married again a few years later, and divorced her, and then remarried her because he quote unquote wanted to get back at her, and then divorced her again.
Wow.
And then married my mom.
Wow, the re-divorce. That's
Pretty awful.
That's petty.
Right. I don't know if I believe
again
it.
just to divorce her.
I feel like that's like a save face,
Wow.
I can't ask him.
Who initiated the second? No, he's dead. Who initiated the second divorce?
I don't know. I assume him.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep. Well, my dad was a little crazy.
Respect. I respect that. Anyway, so this episode though, True Lovelies.
Yeah. There was okay.
You're right. They're all kind of dealing with. You're right. They're all dealing with love. It's all love stories. It's very love horny.
So the backdrop of the episode though is that Dawson's parents are getting remarried.
The backdrop is Cape Side.
Well,
in
yeah,
Maine, I believe.
Obviously, but
although filmed in North Carolina, it looks like.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that explains why they never have snow.
Correct.
They really should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Like you said, the backdrop is the wedding, the nuptials.
And they have Joey and Dawson standing up, which is weird.
Gail has no friends? Like,
And neither does Mitch.
I mean, it's more understandable for a middle-aged guy to not have any friends, but Gail doesn't have any friends.
I've never really seen either one of them have friends they weren't sleeping with.
Right. You don't have a book club, Gail?
I have a book club.
I know. That's why I said that.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's weird.
The whole thing, it seems kind of contrived almost, like to force Joey to be there.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, bridesmaids' dresses, they look terrible.
It's not the prettiest dress I've ever seen, honestly.
Well, I think they do that on purpose, though. Brides don't want their bridesmaids to look better than them.
Well, yeah, but they should look pretty. And Joey's so pretty anyway. Like, I don't know.
You know what I think is funny is that I guess it makes a little bit of sense because they grew up together or whatever. But I think Gail's only friend was Joey's mom. So
I don't think they were friends.
I thought they talked about before about how they were friends.
Did they?
Yeah, and then she's dead.
Okay.
But I think it's funny that Joey's there, and I guess what's her name? Jen is not invited because Jen's not there at all.
Oh yeah. So Grams and Jen are not there. Maybe they were invited and they just blew it off though because they're on a mission.
Yeah, they are on a mission. They're on a mission from God.
And they have Jack and Andy with them too.
Yeah.
Pacey is there, even though I don't think was invited.
Oh, Pacey's at the wedding. Yeah, I was you switched tracks. I was like, Pacey's not in that car. What are you talking about?
I didn't switch tracks. You were talking about who was not there, and then I said, but Pacey was. I mean, like, come on.
All right. Yeah, you guys all followed that, right?
Uh-huh. Because I make all of the sense, okay?
Anyway, yeah, Pacey is there at the wedding. What do you want to do? You want to talk about individual storylines? You want to just generally talk about who was at the wedding and who wasn't? Or?
There's a lot of overlap in the storylines, but I guess we can.
I mean, we can talk. We could easily talk about the road trip thing because there's no real overlap in there.
All right. So the road trip. I remember that they're all in the car.
Yeah. Well, do you want to?
But I don't remember why they're all in the car before it becomes the road trip.
Okay. Well, let's set it up first.
Please.
Okay? So at the beginning, at school, what's his name? Henry, sees Jen again. This is dumb to me. He's like, if you fucking close that door, it's goodbye. We're done, or whatever. And she says goodbye and closes the door. And he still comes up to her.
Yeah.
Don't fucking talk to her. Yeah,
he got a lot taller since the beginning, like since his character was first introduced.
I think he did, yeah.
So like he hit some kind of growth spurt. I don't know why. I was just picturing him walking up and I remember thinking, wow, he got tall.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has no self-respect.
No.
And he's not a bad-looking dude. And he's a sweet kid. So he could do better. He could find a girl that would treat him better than Jen treats him.
Yeah.
Like, she does not deserve this. And he doesn't deserve to be treated the way she's treating him.
Yeah, he comes up and he's like, hey, I'm leaving. It's so weird. Like, he's leaving for football camp already. I thought, so school ends and he's leaving for football camp immediately?
Well, yeah, my nephew's band camp starts immediately when school lets out.
Yeah. It's weird that it just, this just came up and now he's immediately doing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he's like, so they'll have that last half of the summer together then.
Well, yeah, they have a couple weeks before school starts. I mean, he's gone for 6 of 8 weeks or something like that.
Yeah. But,
that is a long camp.
It is a long camp, yeah.
Did you go to football camp?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't good enough at football to go to football camp. I didn't go to baseball camp or basketball camp either, although there were those things. But no one really on our team's our team wasn't a great team or something like that. They and there's more now than there were when I was in high school. But yeah, if you show a lot of promise or whatever, you can go to football camp and you're basically it's just intensive learning, how to do things better and stuff like that. Just learning techniques and depending on what your position is and stuff. But no, I was good football player for high school, but I wasn't like ever going to even like go to college to play football. I was never that skilled.
Do you need to be that skilled to go to camp? Isn't camp about learning?
No, you like it's optional. Like it's voluntary. Anyone can go. Basically, it's like space camp. Anyone can go, but like it's kind of a waste if you're not going to, because it's expensive too. If you're not going to like, use it to try to get to like college and stuff like that.
Okay.
And a lot of people just don't have that dedication to football. Like, I never played football thinking, like, man, I want to put all my heart and soul into this and try to get as good as humanly possible. I did it just for fun. And it's like, it didn't seem fun to spend 6 weeks fucking camp. But anyway, so he's going to John Madden's football camp. And he says, hey, do you have anything you want to say to me or whatever? She's like, she acts like a complete asshole.
Yeah, she's a total bitch to him.
He's trying to give her an out. She's like, I still care about you kind of thing. And she's like, well, we're fucking done.
Yeah, what is wrong with her? What is her damage exactly?
And then privately, she's like, I feel bad about how I acted. And I should have said that I liked him or whatever. Mm-hmm. And she's like, but I'm so mad at him or whatever. She's really like, I don't understand this. I don't understand why she's so angry. I don't understand why she is digging in so like deeply into this situation. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I guess it's teenage girl stuff, but I don't get it.
It's not all teenage girl stuff. I mean, I would never have acted like this.
But anyways,
it's her fear of abandonment. I mean, I believe we discussed this last episode.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Yeah.
So she wants to be in control. And the way she feels in control is by leaving him, basically.
Right.
So he doesn't leave her.
So Grams inspires her by telling a story. She's like, this is so funny how naive these people are. She's like, your grandfather, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah. She's like, well, Grams, it's easy for you because you were only with one person or whatever ever. And she's like, oh, I kissed a boy, the best kisser I ever kissed. He was
bluest eyes I'd ever seen.
Yeah, he was shipping off to someplace in Korea to get killed, and she's like, I didn't want to do it. I was so nervous and everything, but I ran over, like I went to where he was shipping off, and I said, oh, I want a kiss, and we kissed, and it was the best kiss ever. She's talking about like how she that's a good Grams. Don't even look at me like that.
It's more just the way that you're like not telling the story exactly accurately.
Okay, so because I don't remember all the details of her stupid story.
Let me tell the fucking story.
Well, tell the story then.
So she met this boy with the bluest eyes she'd ever seen. She never said he was the best kisser.
Okay.
Because like you don't tell kids that. That'd be weird.
Nimblest fingers.
Ew. And he asked her to wait for him.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And she froze, and she was so scared that she didn't answer.
Right.
She just, like, ran off or whatever. And she regretted that, so then she went to wherever he was shipping off.
Yeah.
And she kissed him goodbye and said she would wait for him.
Yeah.
And then Jen's like, oh, I didn't know Gramps was in the service. And
I didn't know Gramps was in Korea. And she's like, he wasn't, you fucking idiot.
She's like that.
She doesn't get she doesn't get the moral of the story she's telling her based on that.
It is hilarious, though, like, how they just assume that Grams has only been with one person and never had any other romantic interest. And she's like, no, he shipped off, he got killed.
He was killed in Korea.
Yeah, so she didn't wait for him.
Like so many of them.
She waited, but she didn't have to wait long because he died.
Right.
So then 2 years later is when she married Gramps.
Yeah.
Like, I heard some stories from my grandma that surprised me. Because I was feeling bad about some stuff one day, and I had talked to her about it because we were pretty tight. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, oh, well, let me tell you about when I was young. And she's like, oh, I went on the train to California, and, I stayed out there for like a year, and I had an affair with a married guy, and like all this.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, Grandma. Oh, maybe I shouldn't be telling her her business. I mean, she's been gone a while, but yeah, she shocked me because it's like you can't really think about your grandparents having been with other people.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I knew one grandparent in my life, and that was my mom's mom, who died when I was like 12. So I've never thought about my grandparents as being people in any sense.
Well, my grandma is the only one my grandma and my grandpa, her husband, I knew he died when I was 9, but I knew him. I didn't know my dad's parents, but my grandma, she didn't die till I was an adult.
Yeah.
So we knew a lot about each other. We knew each other well.
That's good. Yeah. Good when that happens. But anyway, so this inspires Jen to be like, oh, like I should have handled things differently. I'm such an asshole, and everything. And Grams is like, we're not gonna let you fail, And then they get in the car and they do their Blues Brothers thing.
Yeah, she's like, we're gonna find him so you can kiss him and tell him how you feel.
Yep, and so they do.
Yeah, but it's also with Jack and Andy. Why were they all in the car in the first damn place?
I'm pretty sure they all went in the car just for this specific purpose.
No, they were in the car when all this went down.
Not when the story was being told. They weren't they like fucking in her house?
I don't
she told
think
the story?
so. Because I think they were in the car when Jen's like, oh, I feel bad. And then Grams is like, yeah, because Grams is driving.
yeah,
and she does this crazy turnaround thing.
That's true. She makes a U-turn.
She's like, we're going to go find him.
Fuck this, she says.
And, Jack and Andy, they take Jack to go talk to Ethan.
Yeah.
And I don't remember why the four of them were in the fucking car to begin with.
I think they're driving to the wedding. I think they were actually going to the wedding.
Maybe. They're not dressed for it.
I don't know. I think that's what they were doing. I don't remember.
Although maybe they are, because I realize that in my mind they're wearing the clothes that they're wearing in the poster behind you that I'm looking at.
Wow.
And Jen's wearing jeans, but, you never know.
No, I don't think she was wearing jeans.
But yeah, so Graham's crazy drives, and they've been driving, all night.
Yeah, they drive all night, and they find...
The school bus.
They finally find the bus.
At a rest stop. And Jen's like, Grams, they might already be there by now. We may have missed them. We might, maybe they're on another road. And, then she's like, or maybe they're right there.
Yeah.
So she finds Henry and outs him as a virgin.
Well, it's so funny because, they're all milling about, all these football dudes. And she runs into the bathroom because she runs towards the bathroom door. The coach or whatever is coming out. By the way, who? Maybe he's the bus driver. I don't know. Mitch is the coach of this team. Why is he not going to the football camp? I guess.
Well, he's getting married, so it's not for just the team though. I think camps are for
Yeah, I guess it is other teams and stuff too. But anyway, so the bus driver or whatever comes out and of the bathroom, and he's like, "What the fuck? You can't go in there." And she's like, "I'm looking for someone."
Henry.
And he's over staring out at the water, man, it's the problems in high school. They mean so much. They matter so much.
But then he sees her.
Nothing will ever be as important as it is in high school.
Right. He sees her and he lights up. Mm-hmm. And she runs over.
And says, yeah.
In front of all his football friends. Tells him this whole speech about how she was so scared at the idea of having sex with somebody she actually loves that it makes her more of a virgin than he'll ever be.
Yeah.
In front of a bunch of high school dudes. What the fuck?
And they all start laughing.
He's like, thanks for that.
It is funny.
Oh my God. Jen, come on.
And I like that you looked at her poster when you said that too. Like you're talking to her. But yeah, so they kiss and everything, and the crowd does the ooh, whatever, like it's a fucking sitcom.
And she's like, I'll wait for you to come back.
Mm-hmm. So they're fine now. They keep breaking this couple up just to put them back together the next episode. It's weird.
Annoying. At least he's not, passing out from blood loss to buy her a present again. At least he's got some kind of backbone now.
Forgot about that. But then as they're driving away, Andy's like, now, Jack, we got to do you. And so they go to the college where the guy is, and he grabs him and kisses him.
Well, first of all, it's
while
kind
he's
of
sitting
bizarre.
In front of someone else.
Yeah, it's kind of bizarre that he finds him sitting at a table on a lawn in front of his dorm or whatever.
With another dude.
What is the likelihood that you pull up
that's true.
to the campus and there's your guy? It's
I never even thought about that.
But yeah. And yeah, he does. He's like, I've got to do this. I finally, I know, myself and I'm ready. And yeah. Kisses him and he barely kisses back. He's like, oh, dude, no, stop.
Right. And he's like, hey, this is Ben or whatever.
Brad.
He's like, oh, your ex-boyfriend, Brad? His boyfriend, Brad.
Yeah.
He's this big, like, football dude. And then he stands up and he's like, I'm going to let you two talk.
Which was very nice of him.
Yeah.
Because he did just run up and kiss his boyfriend.
So, the guy's with somebody else now, and it's not going to work out, but...
He's also older than Jack.
But Jack is now open to being gay, I guess.
I feel like he's been open to being gay.
Well, he's struggling with being out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he comes home and, breaks down crying. His dad's there. His dad's like, oh, I have something I want to share with you. It's so exciting. And he's like, fuck you.
It's like, you wouldn't understand.
He acts so like an asshole to his dad.
He always does.
And his dad's like, I get it. His dad was a jerk at first, but his dad is completely come around now. And he's like, oh, he's like, you don't want to fucking hear about this. You don't want to hear about gayness because you hate gays.
Yeah, he's like, you don't want to know that I'm crying because I kissed another man and he didn't kiss me back.
And he's like, oh, that's interesting. And, so Jack's all very heartfeltly is like, I don't know why this has to be so hard. Like, I have to deal with all the stuff all teenagers have to deal with. And then there's this other layer of whatever. And he's like, I just wish I was normal. And I have been in the room when someone I knew that was gay was crying over it and saying that they wish that they were just normal,
Well, and then, he's like, I wouldn't have chosen this. I'm sure you wouldn't have chosen to have a gay son, he says to his dad.
But his dad's, I don't remember exactly how it comes up, but his dad's like, but I'm fucking happy that I have a gay son or whatever.
Yeah, it's so sweet. He's like, I absolutely would choose to have you every time. And, that's what makes you amazing or whatever. And hugs him. And
yeah, and he's like, you don't mean that.
But yeah, he loves him and hugs him and it's sweet.
Yeah, his dad's fine now.
Yeah.
His dad started out as an aloof, abusive guy that lost all his money, that didn't care about his wife, that was fucking going insane, that abandoned his children and hated his gay son, to now he is the most supportive parent in the show.
Right.
It's quite a character arc, but...
Yeah, kind of unearned, I guess, but I like it anyway.
Yeah. So that's that storyline. And then the other ones, they all... overlap because it's the love triangle all taking place at the wedding. There's not a lot to say about the wedding other than that they get married again.
Yeah, it's not any big whoop.
I am happy that they're back together.
Super happy they're back together. I like them as a couple. That's, but the main focus is not them. It's the love triangle. So...
Love... exciting and new.
So Pacey tells Joey that he is going to leave for the summer. He's going to go off on his boat he doesn't even tell Joey. He tells somebody else who tells Joey.
Jen.
That he's going to go to the Keys or something on True Love. That seems so dangerous to go sailing on a boat you made, right? Didn't he make it or restored it or whatever?
Yeah, he restored it. It was washed ashore in a storm and he restored it.
He's a teenage boy. He restored this boat himself. He's going to sail it himself all the way through the ocean to the Keys.
Well, he would have won that regatta. It is seaworthy.
I guess. It just seems a little dangerous to me, but whatever.
I mean, there is an element of danger to it, yeah, because you're on a sailboat.
So
you don't have any, fucking, whatever. A storm could come up and destroy your boat, yes.
So Joey... is like, you can't go, you can't do that. And he's like, I'm absolutely going to go.
Yeah. There's nothing keeping me here.
Yeah, you need to give me a reason to stay.
You're not keeping me here.
He basically says that to her. Then
he paints it.
He paints it on the fucking wall. Ask me to stay.
Yeah.
He couldn't be...
That is pathetic.
I don't think it's pathetic, actually. I think it's refreshing. He is not playing games. He's not leaving being like, oh, I hope she'll tell me not to go. He's flat out like, this is why I'm doing this and this is what I want from you. I think that's good.
I guess. He's definitely not playing games.
It's definitely like a little manipulative, I guess. But I mean, he's upfront about what he wants.
It's not as manipulative as Dawson.
Oh my god, Dawson's awful.
Dawson turns into a fucking Svengali in this episode, where he's like, you need to stay here and you need to be here. And she's like, she says to him, she's like, the only reason I said no to Pacey is because I was afraid of losing everything that we have, this friendship that we built since we were like tiny kids and everything. Because, he's like, if that wasn't on the table, I don't know. And she's like, well, yeah, it is on the table, though. You'll fucking lose me.
Yeah, she's like, your family is my family and all that.
Like, don't fucking lose. Don't fuck it up then, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. He just
let him go. You better not fucking say anything.
He totally leverages it. It's awful. Like, he's being a terrible person.
He really is.
But, I mean, like, why would you want someone with you knowing that they don't really want to be with you?
Yeah. And, well, then that's eventually where he gets.
Yeah. It just takes him a while.
It really does. They show us that picture of them as kids again.
I hate that picture. Everything it makes me nauseated.
It's a terrible picture.
It's awful. The symbol of it is awful. Like, yeah. It's not good. It needs to go. Maybe he'll destroy it in his upset.
I hope so. But, like, throughout the entire wedding, she's like, she clearly wants to be with Pacey. She wants to talk to Pacey and stuff like that. And he's like, well, fucking, he's not, like, you're here. You're supposed to be here for this. Mm-hmm. And Pacey shows up, and they're all three of them are there for a minute.
And Dawson's like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I'm here for your parents.
Like, he's like, yeah, well, fuck you. You don't give a fuck.
It's like, I'll give them your regards.
Yeah, get out. He's like, I thought you were supposed to be fucking getting out of here, going to the Keys. I thought you were supposed to be dying on a rock somewhere.
Right.
And he goes, tomorrow. I'm leaving tomorrow.
And Jen and them are throwing him a going away party.
Yeah.
Which
that's why Joey knows about it.
Yeah, which Joey would be going to, but she had to be at the wedding.
Is that where they were going? Were they going to his going away party and they just blew it off?
No, they had it.
Maybe they were coming back from his going away party.
Yeah, they had the party. And, it was the rehearsal dinner. The rehearsal dinner was happening at the same time as his going away party.
Yeah,
so Joey couldn't go, even though she wanted to.
She was rehearsing.
And Dawson's like, yeah, you're right, you can't go, kind of thing.
That's right. Fuck him.
Yeah, and so then the next
don't
day,
fuck him.
Instead of leaving, Pacey comes to the wedding first.
Yes.
And paints on the wall, ask me to stay, and all that stuff.
And she's like, I can't ask you to stay.
Yeah. And then she's dancing with Dawson and almost like starts crying, talking about the summer they're going to have together because she's so torn up about Pacey.
Yeah. She's like, we're going to have And that's finally when he's like, yeah, this is... Being a warden is actually not fun.
Right.
And he's like, he gives a speech at their wedding, like after in the reception, as the best man. He gives a speech of like basically like, hey, fucking true love is the best, and sometimes you gotta. He does the Sting thing where it's like if you love something, set it free.
Yeah.
If it comes back, it was meant to be or whatever. And so he says to Joey. After the speech, he's like, look, I can't keep you here. You want to be with him, like, just, like, you don't want to be with me. Maybe eventually, maybe someday you'll want to be with me, but you don't want to be with me now. He's
like, I've got to let you go so that you can figure it out for yourself.
I kept you here during the summer, like last year.
Yeah,
the year before,
she was supposed to go to Paris. I forgot about that.
To go to France and stuff. Yeah,
that's awful. And he's like, I'm not going to do this to you 2 summers in a row.
Right. Well, was it 2 summers in a row? Because like I know he went off on some trip last summer to Philadelphia. Because that's on the bus ride home is when he met that chick.
Okay.
That was the beginning of the season. So I think it was the previous summer. But
I don't know. It sounded like it was last summer. But
anyway, but yeah, he's all like, I can't fucking do this, so. Just go, and then he cries.
Yeah, he's like, just leave before I stop you. And
terrible looking cry, by the way.
Just, yeah.
His eyes.
His face crumples.
Yeah.
It's sad, but a little comical at the same time.
Yeah. And then he collapses to the ground.
And then Joey stops to change her clothes. Dawson,
You pointed this out. This is so funny.
Pacey has left the wedding. He's getting ready to leave to go off on his boat. And she stops home, changes her clothes, and does not bring a bag.
No.
Runs to the boat and's like, I'm going to come with you.
Yeah.
Where the fuck are your clothes? Like, that's so crazy to me.
She does mention that, though. Because he's like, oh, we'll stop at a store or whatever in a couple days.
Yeah, what kind of money do you kids have to go buy her clothes?
I don't know.
Go get her clothes. Just the whole thing bothers me.
Why do you have to leave right now?
Yeah.
You like, it's not like, there's no timetable. Like, it's your boat. You can leave whenever you want. Mm-hmm. You can just be like, okay, let's do this, but go get your clothes first.
Yeah, deodorant, toothbrush, hairbrush, anything.
It takes
Tampons?
away from the... It takes away from the spontaneity, I guess.
I guess.
But they sail off together.
Which I think is really dumb. I mean...
Like, it's fine. I don't know.
It's not fine. They're teenage kids going off on a boat alone together for the summer.
In real life, they would totally fuck on that boat.
And they would totally die on that boat.
Maybe not. I don't know. How hard do you think it is to sail? I don't know.
I don't know. I can't do it for sure. I'm guessing he's a fine sailor or whatever, but like they're not even adults. Do they have passports? Like, what do you need? What if they get stopped in the water
Passports
somewhere?
to go to Florida? What are you talking about?
But they're out at the middle of the ocean.
Well, no, they're not in the middle of the ocean. They're along the shoreline. You stay along the shore. What the fuck? What do you think they're doing?
How are they going to...
You think they're Ferdinand Magellan circumnavigating the globe? What is going on in your brain?
I don't know.
They're probably never more than a mile or two from the shore.
I guess they're going to sleep on the boat, huh?
Yes.
Is there a bed in there?
I don't know.
It's a sailboat.
I didn't design it.
Like, do sailboats have, like, bedrooms? I know, like, yachts have bedrooms.
Not bedrooms, necessarily, but there's a bed hold underneath, yeah.
Oh, my God, they're going to sleep underwater?
No, they're not going to sleep underwater. They're going to sleep
scary.
on the boats.
But it's underwater. It's the part of the boat that's underwater.
No. Very little of the boat is underwater.
All right.
Do you understand how boats work?
Not really.
Let me explain how boats work. How can something that's heavier than water float on water? So it turns out air is lighter than water. Were you aware of that?
I was, yeah.
Do you ever wonder that, though? How, like, a cruise ship stays afloat?
Yes.
Okay, so this is how it happens. It's a math problem, essentially. So as long as the average of the weight is less dense than water, or is lighter than the water, the entire thing will float on the water. And what happens is those giant cruise ships and stuff like that, they're made of heavy. I mean, they're hundreds of thousands of pounds, maybe millions of pounds or whatever of metal. They're enormous, right? But there is so much air in the hull that by volume, when you average it out, it's lighter than water, so it will float.
Okay.
So as long as there's enough air space, which is lighter than the water, then the whole thing will float. So that's how it works. So the majority of his sailboat is not underwater, really. It kind of sits along the surface. Some of it does sink in, but not a lot of it.
All right. I don't know. I have a bad feeling.
Okay. Well, you think on Dawson's Creek that's going to start with a funeral for next season?
Their bodies will never be recovered. They're just going to be missing persons.
We're burying empty caskets here.
Dawson and Jen will get together in their grief.
What about Henry? Oh, Henry's killed at football camp.
There you go.
He's tackled and his neck's broken.
No, he's a paraplegic, but Jen feels too guilty to break up with him.
Jen makes him watch. Sets him in the corner in his wheelchair.
Chair.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, good times, good times.
Anyway. So, yeah, they sail off together. Dawson cries. And then he goes back to his room, and the real love of his life is there, movies.
Yep. Andy and Jack and Jen, who, by the way, none of them have slept yet. No. They've just been up all night.
And there's no explanation as to how they know what happened. Because it just happened.
That's a good point. Well, maybe she stopped on her way home to get
Which
clothes.
is changing. By the way, I'm breaking Dawson's heart. In case you want to go over to the video store.
Jen saw it. I remember now. Jen was on the beach and she watched like their exchange and she watched him like fall down crying and stuff. So she knew something happened.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
So yeah, they show up with movies and they're like, and he's like, I really want to be alone. They're like, nope, you're not going to be alone. We're friends and we're going to be here.
You.
So we were watching a movie.
Yep.
So at least he's got his friends, and Joey will probably lose her virginity.
Well, in real life, that's what would happen, but I'll bet you they'll come back and she's still a virgin.
I don't think that's even possible.
Okay. You think that she's going to lose her virginity off screen?
I don't think this show's going to show us sex.
Obviously, yeah.
So,
but I mean, do you think that...
Casey lost his virginity off screen?
No, we saw some of that.
Well, Andy lost her virginity off screen.
Yeah, she did.
So, it could happen.
Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, that is the episode for the week and the season, everyone.
It is.
Welcome, or please come back next season.
But we will still have, some kind of episodes for you
We'll have
throughout the
some
summer.
stuff to do during the summer, so come back and listen each week.
Check back in.
Anyway, thank you for another successful season.
Yeah.
And Carol, tell the people where they can find their own unsinkable boat.
So you can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
And share the tapes with your friends.
Oh, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.